leave the headphones?
Yep.
Okay.
As good as it is.
All right.
It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, same here.
All right, Jody, come on in, baby. Wait, hold on, I'm gonna watch you out. Okay. All right, Aaron, I'm gonna give you a hug. Come on in.
Hi.
You're the next contestant on BaaD Radio.
Your shirt is so colorful.
Hmm?
Your shirt is so colorful.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be going ballistic if not. It doesn't know when to stop right now. Hi. Uh-huh. So how are you? I'm Joni.
Hi, Joni, Melissa.
Nice to meet you.
All right.
You too.
I'm gonna have to pull your chair up a little bit because I want you to be
Oh,
higher.
higher.
Because this, yeah, that isn't gonna be in our way, and I won't be able to see you. So I want to be able to actually. You want to see this? Because Aaron was all tall, but I don't know if she was up any higher.
Wait, maybe, there, that's, I got it. There's the other.
Um,
Not that I think it did a whole lot of good.
because I have to look at you
Okay.
over here. But you'll have face. You'll be able to see face to face. So we do 4 10-minute segments.
Okay.
When we go to break, when she starts playing the music, that means that we're going to break. But we're not really going to break. I mean, we will go. I'll be like, hey, stay tuned, because then when she produces it, when it airs, it will have the commercial from there.
Okay.
It's exciting to have you.
What are we talking about? Just everything? Anything? What do you want to just?
I was winging it, girl.
Okay, I'm good with that. I don't like
Hmm?
a script or anything.
Nope.
Okay, let me just put this. Ooh, wait, I'll take a picture. I'll wait for your directions. I'll do a selfie with that.
Just so you know that this is being streamed live right now on all of WFLA's
She
social
tells
media
her
platforms.
when she's already.
They can hear me right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hi.
No, I have it turned off right now. I'll be back on social in a minute.
I forget to tell people that.
And then if you can't, so when you're talking in the mic, it's going to be pretty close to you.
You want it close to me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Hello.
So, Jenny, I pronounce your last name Smalley, right?
Yep.
Is Joni short for anything?
Joan. It's not. It's long.
So Joni's the nickname?
Yes.
I love it.
Okay.
Hold on, give me 1 second, Melissa.
No. I was hoping you would.
You have 2 Melissa.
If Joni hasn't done anything before.
Yeah, I have Melissa too.
Joni, have you been on the radio before? Can't hear me? Should be able to hear me. Joni, have you done the radio before?
Hear you, ruh-roh.
Can't. What? Who can't hear me?
The guest.
Maybe you turn it down. Okay, talk. Okay, there.
Everything is fine.
There you go. Now I can hear you. He turned it all the way down.
Oh. All right, and you've been on radio before. I see where your microphone's placed. You must know exactly what you're doing, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I've been on radio, yeah.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
You never know what you're dealing with, darling.
Yeah.
I
That
know.
doesn't mean
I
I'm
don't like to
professional.
tell them who's going to be the guest, so that it's always a surprise.
Now I'm going to tell you, it's not like I'm a professional or anything.
What are you saying, Joni?
I'm just kidding.
No, really, what are you saying?
Nothing.
Did you do radio before?
Yes,
Okay, good.
a number of times.
Oh, but you don't have your own show, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know where I would
Always a
fit that
guest,
in.
never a host. Gotcha. No problem.
It's just a smart ass.
I'm just being a jerk.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have no show of my own.
No, that's okay.
You know, the high demand for me, though, maybe.
I know. Trust me. She's
I'm just
not,
saying.
She's not easy to. That's why I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't believe she's here.
Right. Okay. Tapes rolling. Social media, pay attention. We're starting another hour of BaaD radio. All right.
You're listening to Radio Cosmos.
All night long.
Bravo! My compliments, little lady.
Break for 30 seconds.
You are now listening to BaaD Radio.
And welcome back as we launch into the second hour of BaaD Radio. I'm going to run through all the regular introductions. And so for anybody who has just joined us, I am Angela Smarito, your host, and we've got our producer, Melissa Fox, in the studio.
Hi, yeah.
That is like the saddest audience applause I've ever heard.
You know what? They need fed. Honestly,
Yeah.
they need food.
So if I bring like chips and snacks next time, we might get a little bit more enthusiasm.
Maybe, yeah.
And next to me, we have our videographer and our co-host, Melissa Jacob.
Hello, hello, hello.
And her business is called Striking Brand, and you can watch all of last year's videos. Because did I tell you that we get a YouTube video when everything's said and done too?
No.
Well, I know I didn't do a very good job, Joni.
I'm going to tell you right now. Now I'm a little scared. There's lots of stuff.
No, we all of our previous episodes are on YouTube, and so if you go to baadradio.com, you can watch them. And then on top of that, you can go to strikingbrand.com to see all of the work that Melissa does. And that, like, did I say that? Strikingbrand.com.
Yep, perfect.
All right. So this hour of BaaD Radio, we have an incredible lady in studio with us. Please welcome Joni Smalley.
Hi, Jenny.
I don't get more applause than that.
I don't know.
Look at all the people.
Well,
Hey, they're
anyways,
happy at least.
She is Main Street Executive Director with the Leesburg Partnership. There. Let's bring it. Let's bring it.
Now they're definitely going to want donuts later.
All right. So let's just tell everybody what that means. What is Leesburg Partnership?
So we're a nonprofit. We're a Florida Main Street program.
Mhm.
So we have what is called a Main Street district. So we center our focus on downtown Leesburg. We have 4 things that we focus on. It's economic development, design, organization, and then promotion, which is the events, which we do a pretty good job with those.
Oh, yeah.
Of the city, of the
Leesburg, we work with the city. We are not a part of the city. We are a partner with the city.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So how I met Joni is because I've worked with the Leesburg Bike Fest for many years in a bunch of different ways. I mean, I worked with it when I worked here, when I was with WJRR, and then I worked it when I was with my other employer. And so when I left and I'm here with Mindful Media Group, Joni was one of the people that I called. And from there, when we met, like I said, I think that we had talked a million times on the phone, but this year was the first time we got to meet in person. And I think we were there for like a couple hours.
yeah.
It was just so fun.
Oh, yeah.
But I was really impressed with all of the things that the partnership does. It's not just, hey, we're going to do once a year, a bike fest. So,
Yeah.
but I meant, is the bike fest like one of your biggest?
Oh, yeah. It's our
events?
biggest event of the year for sure. I mean, it's a 3-day, it takes a year long, to plan everything around. I mean, we're already starting to talk about what we would do next year in the logistic part of it and whatnot. So it's a year long process. So, but that is our biggest event, but we have them all year round, other events.
Well, I want to talk about autumn, but let's talk about the bike fest. What are the
Okay.
dates of it?
It's April 28th through the 30th of
Right.
this year. Yes.
So it's coming on, and you said it's a 3-day event. So tell us about some of the events that happens during the event, because it's not just it's bikes, but
Right.
there's music. Yeah.
So we have concerts. We have 3 stages with concerts on them all day. We have biker games. We have bike demonstrations. We have 2 really big bike shows on Friday and Saturday. We have a tattoo expo. That we're
really?
bringing it back. We're working on the location exactly. We have 2 locations that we're trying to decide which one's going to be better.
So it's an episode where people aren't getting tattooed, but
They
they're
can.
showing their work.
They can come and get tattooed also.
Really?
So we're working on that. That is a working in progress because there's all kinds of little.
Well, I know
details.
I know for Earth Day birthday, I always tried to push to have a tattoo person come there, but like with the legalities, they're like, there's going to be some girl with a fake ID that's not
You
going to
should
be
bring her.
18 years old, and you know what I mean. So it's like some girl comes there with a fake ID
Right.
and gets a tattoo, and then her mom wants to sue. You know what I mean? So
Well, and we put the way we do a lot of the for this, we would have somebody that would be in there full time in charge of that to be sure that those type of things don't happen. And if it's a vendor that is doing tattoos themselves,
that's on them.
That's on them.
Yep.
And
Amen.
but and at an event this large, that there are people that come around and do things like that.
Well, also since it's it's a 3-day event, that also helps because I mean, getting a tattoo is a time sensitive thing, so it takes a little while.
yeah.
Why am I stuck?
I can't even imagine going. I mean, you'd have to go sit for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if the tattoo artists, I mean, they're all individual. They do their own thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if they want to do like little ones and, try to get them to come back.
I don't know, but it would be
I don't know how
pretty
that
cool
works.
though to be able to
Mhm.
say I got this tattoo at the Leesburg Bike Fest.
Well, we used to have we did have one in a bigger venue, which in the other part of Leesburg partnership, we are a Main Street program, so we always are very happy to have all the new businesses and
Mhm.
whatnot. So the location that we had it at before has now become a pretty thriving business. It's a different part of a bigger company, but so we're happy to have that there.
Mhm.
We're sorry that it's taken away from something else, but it's something that's there 365 days a year.
Tell us a little bit about the history of the Bike Fest.
So it started in 1994. I actually started with the Leesburg Partnership myself as a volunteer, so I was volunteering. But my predecessor, he started it. It started right in Town Square, just a small biker event, and it just kept growing and growing into this huge, massive event. And I don't think when he started it, this is what he imagined.
Oh
it
my
would
gosh,
become.
not.
I mean, no one did in Little Leesburg. I mean, it started where it was, we're just going to have a keg of beer right here and some bikes come down and yay, very much like a car show, you just, and here it has blossomed into this big, huge, massive
Tell
event.
Melissa how many people you pull.
Well, it all depends, but it's not like I'm going, everyone hold still. I'm
Right.
going to count now. But we expect through the whole weekend, we probably at one time could have at the most 30,000 in our
Wow.
downtown. And then it just, it's an in and out drive through. We have people that shuttle in.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I think throughout the whole weekend, we'll have 150,000,
Wow, that's amazing.
maybe 100 to 150,000. So
It's huge.
That's a lot. Yeah.
and we brought in, I don't know the year that the headliner started,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously they didn't start 3 days, but now we have headliners, bigger bands that come in the evening on Friday, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. So that
So
has changed that.
Let's
event.
talk about some of the bands you've had in the past.
Yeah, we've had some pretty good bands. I actually was out to dinner last night, and this gentleman, somebody told him what I did, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, my favorite was we had Vanilla Ice." Everybody was a little nervous.
I remember.
Yeah,
Uncle Cracker.
Yeah,
Did you have Aria Speedwagon one year too?
that was probably in early years. We've had Jefferson Starship. We've had Brett Michaels, Vince Neil. Golly,
So fun.
we have had so many. Marshall Tucker Band was one of my favorite. It was a Sunday afternoon. It was just they were there another time probably when they were a little younger. But it was such a beautiful. It was like a great way to end Bike Fest. And then last year in November we had Gentry of Montgomery Gentry.
Yep.
And he was really good. So we've had a little mixture. We've started to bring in a little country now, and
I think that's a great idea.
and well, it's pretty popular.
Yep.
There's country music festivals jumping up everywhere all the time. So that's gone over really, really well. So, but so we're excited. We're this Way Jennings that'll be here on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of a new, but he did really, really well in Daytona. He's got a great following. I'm really excited to have him because it's the first time we've had a headliner comment on our Facebook, on my
Nice.
Facebook post.
Yeah, nice.
I was so excited.
Well, I want to talk about that some more because, like I said, this thing has blossomed into it's such a great event. So everybody stay tuned. When we get back, we're going to talk about more of the fun stuff that's going to be happening at the Leesburg Bike Fest.
You're listening to BaaD Radio. We'll be right back.
So, but we won't talk about the Bike Fest the whole time. I'd like to talk about the partnership. And I want to talk a little bit about what it means to be a Main Street. Because, Main Street is not something that everybody really understands.
I think there's 12 districts here in Orlando alone.
I didn't know that it's a nonprofit.
Not all of them. Well, all of them, some run under the city, like Orlando's are in their part of the city. So, like, the
Well, there's
main
Kissimmee
person,
Main Street, there's
like
Melbourne
Kissimmee,
Main Street.
Melbourne is
yeah.
one.
Um,
There are 57 main streets in the state of Florida. It's one of Florida has some of the most main streets
really?
in the country.
Interesting.
I knew
National-
that.
Yeah, National Main Street is just got over. It was in Boston, but this year there was just no way that I could go. This is
Do you
major
think
crunch
that,
time.
the Bike Fest is the biggest event that any of the main streets put on?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Our
Badass.
Bike Fest. I mean, there are other ones like Arcadia. I think has one this weekend. Arcadia has one coming up.
Wow.
DeLand has a 1 day. Arcadia's is 1 day. DeLand's is 1 day. I think.
This is stuff we should talk about in the air.
Okay.
Yeah, we probably should, but
Okay.
okay. Stand by.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
And we are back, and this portion of BaaD Radio is brought to you by Rachel Roach Realty, a Coldwell Banker Realtor. With a sea of realtors out there, choose one that thinks about you first and not their commission. You can reach Rachel at 407-252-4566. So during the break, Joni, we were just talking and talking. I'm like, okay, we should talk about this stuff on the air. So I still want to talk about all the activities at Leesburg Bike Fest. So, but let's circle right back around to that. So I asked Joni on break, let's talk about what a main street is. So how would you describe what it is and why it's even there? And I think you mentioned how many Florida has.
Yeah. So somebody just asked me this recently. I think a main street, the best way to describe what main streets do is they help develop community for a city. They're mostly small towns because there are stipulations for you to become an accredited main street. You have to have so many historic buildings. You have to have, there's things that make you a main street, and you
Right.
have to apply and whatnot. Actually, Winter
You apply
Park,
with what, the state?
the state of Florida. It's
Okay.
Florida Main Street. We're under the historic preservation. Winter Park actually just became a main street this
Really?
last year.
I would have thought
Um,
that would have been one a long time
I
ago.
know. This was the first time I got to be sitting on the review to approve them.
That's
So
cool.
it was really exciting to see because I've grown up being able to go over to Winter Park, and I really thought, why aren't they a main street when for a long time? So I'm really excited that they've come on. But in Orlando, you all have, I think there's 10 to 12 main streets, and then you all are where we're different than Orlando. You all are they work under the city of Orlando,
Right.
So Kyle, who runs it, just became the director because Pauline just retired. So his office is at City Hall.
Okay.
But we actually just had our quarterly meeting here in Orlando. So
And here I am making you drive to O-Town again.
it's fine. It's not that big a deal. But what I think, what makes us different from a chamber are more business to business, but we're developing our community. So that's where our events come in. But we do know the economic development is very important because that's what's going to bring business to downtown. Downtowns, there's studies that show that if your downtown is thriving, it just, trickles through your whole community. So we
That's
want
actually
to.
super interesting because you don't really think about, like, when I grew up, I'm from Melbourne,
Oh,
and so
okay.
that's why I know that Melbourne has one. But I always enjoyed going to downtown Melbourne because of the old buildings. But
Right.
now they put on some pretty good events over there.
They have two districts. They have Ugali.
O'Galley.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I never knew how to say that.
It's O'Galley.
And then Melbourne. But in the state of Florida, we have 57. We're one of the highest number of main streets in the country. So we have one director. She's up in Tallahassee.
There's one director out of all the main streets?
Yes.
Dang.
So she, oversees all of us. It's a very busy job, but she is adding main streets every day. So, there are people that are seeing what this can do, and it brings like just that whole feeling that you get, a sense of place for a town. And I grew up in Leesburg, so it to me it makes it easier because I grew up there. I have a love for it. I want my children to one day far, far away have kids and raise their kids there. But if they're listening, just so you know, not anytime soon. But
I'm on the same boat. Not anytime soon.
No. So that's, I think that's the best way to describe a main street is that's, it's your love for your community and you're pretty much showing it throughout the community. It's a feeling.
Mm-hmm. And are you solely responsible for coming up with the events as they happen? I mean, do you sit down and brainstorm, say, hey, you know what? I think that it would be great for us to celebrate this, or let's do St. Patty's Day this year. I mean, is that kind of how that works?
Well, we have a promotions committee, so we have committees, and we have a board of directors. So our promotions committee, which does events and promotes Leesburg and the Main Street, that we do that together. It's but I certainly will bring back to the table information where we're a part of. I'm on the executive board for the Florida Festival and Events Association. So we do learn quite a bit there, which is very exciting. So, we'll bring back ideas of things that we can do. I mean, because really that's how all events are pretty much come up with is what other people see, and you just try to piggyback off of what if somebody else has done.
Right, definitely. Well, I know that for me in media, when I see campaigns and I'm like, wow, that's really creative, and then I can bring that idea or that concept to somebody else, then they, so I think that I don't say copying, but
it's adapting it.
Mimicking something is the biggest form of a compliment you can get.
Right.
What are some of the other events that Leesburg Partnership puts on each year?
So I actually am just working on that contract at the same time of this crazy time. We put on the 4th of July for the city of Leesburg. Next Thursday, we have our annual fish fry, which is considered one of our fundraisers. So most of our events, all of them are free, except for 3 events. It's our fish fry, our craft beer,
but I meant
dinner.
They're paying to get food, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But
okay.
it's not. But everything. These are our only ticketed events.
Mm-hmm.
So fish fry is a ticketed event, but it's just like a big Southern fish fry.
It sounds amazing.
Is that because you need a limited number of people, like a smaller group, or is it because it's just such an expensive event to pull off? Or?
It's an expensive event because, what we do is we sell sponsorships to help pay for some of the food. But then as a nonprofit, I mean, we have to fundraise to be able to pay people like me.
Right.
And I have a part-time person. So, and then we do have contract people that help me put these events on. If I didn't have those people, I would not know what to do with myself.
I meant there's an advertising cost too.
Yeah, well, yes.
I mean,
and we have, to advertise. So the ticketed events that we do, and they help pay for our day-to-day operating expenses.
So it's a 40+ hour a week job, huh? Right about now
I
it's
would
probably
say plus.
80.
I'm not.
She says emphasis on
I'm
the
not
plus.
really sure. I think my 40 hours is when I'm on vacation.
Oh, bless your heart.
But I do. Somebody asked me. I love my job. I have a finance degree. I went to school in Georgia, and I cannot. I actually said this to my son, who is about to be 24 in June. He said, you don't use your degree, and I'm like, no. I go, can you imagine me sitting in a bank all day? I was like, no. So
I you know what? I majored in accounting for a couple. I mean, I wanted to be an accountant, and then I realized that was going to be my life. Can you imagine me being a bean counter?
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I am like, no. But it has come into a lot of help for me, in my job. But I do believe that I love it, and
right.
It is exhausting and it's tiring, but it's worth it because I love what I do.
Yeah, no, you have your energy is great for that, and it does take that. I remember what it would feel like after an Earth Day birthday and sitting up at the Citrus Bowl and looking down on this crowd of people, and they're all having the best time, and it was very, very satisfying to see that happen.
So when we had our first one after COVID in November, getting up on the catwalk of the stage and looking out over the crowd and seeing all those people.
You're just like, yes!
Yeah, and it was just such a relief for all of us. I mean, our whole team, I made sure that our whole team that puts on Bike Fest came up and just looked and just was able to go, this is what we did.
Oh, you're giving me goosebumps.
Yeah, it was-
I know
but
exactly what you mean.
It really does. You're just kind of like, and then come Sunday, we're doing that, and we're like exhausted. And we're crying like tired.
Yeah. Now it'll probably takes you a good solid 2 weeks to recoup after that. And then, like you said, you're already planning another one.
Mhm,
So,
yeah. Yeah.
I think we are getting ready to come up to a break, but I know you mentioned the fish fry. So, before we wrap everything up, though, I want to make sure that we give everybody the contact information. So if they want to come to these events, they know what to do. But like I said, not yet. We're good. We're going to go to break right now. Trying to just get this whole timing thing worked out with you, sister. All right. We'll be right back. So stay tuned.
You're listening to BaaD Radio. For networking and more, go to baadradio.com.
When she first started talking, I was like, how does she know what we're doing? Where is she? I didn't realize she was right there.
So we still have 2 more segments, right?
3, right?
No.
Those.
2. Okay.
Did we just do 2 and 1?
No.
What just happened?
You just did the second segment.
Yeah, we just did the second.
I'm sorry.
It goes fast.
So, Melissa.
Yes.
That must be a very popular name because, Melissa, the person that works with me, her name is Melissa, too. My T-shirt lady for Bike Fest, her name is Melissa. And I'm like, it just makes my life so much easier.
Doesn't it?
Because you don't have to remember a bunch of names.
Yeah, I'm like, oh,
True.
I'm just going to go with Melissa and take a guess.
The funny thing is I named myself Melissa.
Oh.
That's my radio name.
What's your real name?
Quiet. Nobody pay attention.
What is? Why not?
Really?
That's a beautiful name.
Really? I was about to say, because my dad is from Maine. You do not sound like his family that's in Maine at all. Uh-huh. A little southern. Oh.
So you changed your name from Lori to
Laurie.
Laurie.
You know what? My best friend, it's Lauri. That's how she spells her. Her family's from Maine. Or her dad.
Like
That's funny.
like isn't that what they like British people call like trucks?
What?
Okay.
I was like, really? I was like, oh. You're like, done. I don't want that. Oh.
Uh-huh. Well, there's an LT that works for JR too, Leah. LT's worked with her initials.
Oh.
But yeah, I was LT in the morning. Sometimes she's funny, sometimes she's boring. Anyway,
funny.
yeah, it's kind of silly, isn't it? All right, let's go for segment 3, and that'll happen in a sec. So there. Yeah, someone named me that a long time ago, and then I said, can I have 2 X's in Fox? They said, take 3 if you want. I was like, no, let's not get stupid with it.
No, it's cool.
Yeah, so anyway, that's my name. Yay. All
And
right.
you're sticking with it.
Well, yeah, and then I got down here, and they all call me Melissa with an ER on the end. I'm like, where are you from?
That's a
I
British
know.
thing, Angela. I know that, like,
yeah. Well, it's a New England thing, too, because we all came from Britain.
oh.
Anyway, so we put eyes where they don't belong, like and take them off where they do, like sneakers and Toyotas.
I love it.
Yeah. All right, stand by. I'm ready.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
And this portion of BaaD Radio is brought to you by Liberty Property Inspections. Your home is one of your most important investments, so don't trust it to anyone. LibertyPropertyInspections.net, helping you protect your investment. All right, so we are talking with Joni Smalley with the Leesburg Partnership, and there's just so much to cover. So let's try to be a little bit more organized about it. So we are talking about the events that are coming up when we got to the fish fry. What was the date on the fish fry?
April 6th.
Okay, so April,
Next
the fish
Thursday.
fry is before Bike
Right.
Fest.
7 days from today.
Oh, dang. Actually, I think I remember that because I was like, can you
Mhm.
come to the studio on that day? And you're like, no. She's
No,
like,
no,
not
no.
going to happen.
Nope.
So after Bike Fest, what's comes up after that?
Well, we have a car show every month, the second Saturday of the month, so we will still have that. That's a couple weeks. We will be hosting the bar at Romac Construction or Lumber Company has a construction. They do a contractors appreciation night for all the contractors that work with them,
Nice.
and they have Sarah Evans coming to perform.
How many people will come to that?
About 1,500.
Oh,
so it's the
wow.
Friday after Bike Fest, so we do the bar for them for that.
Mhm.
And then we don't. Our next big event is 4th of July, and then we still have our car show, but then we kind of have a break. But I have my conventions for Florida Main Street and FFEA during that time period, and then we start our new year October 1, and then we start our events. We're doing a 5K sometime in September with Summer Sports out of
Mhm.
Claremont. So we were supposed to do it last year, but we had a hurricane.
Yeah.
So we had to cancel it. So we were very disappointed. So we're going in this
Okay.
year. So we're doing that, and we're going to change up a couple of our things this year. So be watching out for that.
Mhm.
We're going to change our craft beer up a little bit. We're not, we just kind of feel like it's time for some change with it. We have a Christmas house that is it's basically a pop-up shop, but it's open for about 6 to 8 weeks
Mhm.
during the holidays. We do our Christmas parade, Christmas stroll,
Fun.
and then we have our Mardi Gras, and then
we're circled back.
and then we're back.
Yeah.
Then we're back.
So tell me about sponsorships, because the sponsors are really what kind of like
Right.
fun stuff.
Right. So for Bike Fest, we are very fortunate that Progressive Insurance is our presenting sponsor, and they have been a great partner with us. They really have helped us be able to step up with the headliners, along with Wayne Dench. If Wayne Dench is basically our partner all year round.
Right.
They help us with all of our events. They
I love the crew over at
Yeah.
Wayne Dench,
Mhm.
Jason and Brian Webb, that whole crew. They're
Right.
great folks.
Yeah, we could not do what we do without our partnership with Wayne Dench.
Mhm.
It has become invaluable to the Leesburg partnership. It pretty much has become invaluable to Leesburg. I call it, I'm like downtown. If somebody asks me if they can do something that is not an Anheuser-Busch product, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, whatever you do.
Got to stay loyal to the
Yeah.
people that take care of you.
I-
That's the way that's
Right.
the way it is.
I tell them I'm like a NASCAR driver. I'm not. Don't put a Miller Lite in front of me.
Right.
But so without those two big sponsors for Bike Fest, we would be, it would be very, very hard pressed, along with the city and the county that really do help us quite a bit with manpower, setting with all the stuff, that infrastructure that happens before, and then the county helps us with our advertising outside of the county.
But I mean, do you have do you offer sponsorship opportunities for other businesses to
Right.
get involved?
Yes. So, of course, we have Gator Harley is a big sponsor for us. They have a venue down there, our Jenkins Auto Group.
Mhm.
We've worked with Lucky Used Cycles. We also are working with Rubenstein Law
Okay.
for Bike Fest. Those are our Bike Fest. But then we have local sponsors, and we're working with that for this year to try to bring in some local sponsorships. So with restaurants, we've got Ski Beach Bar and Grill that have come in. And then with all of our small ones, we do have a lot of local. Romac Lumber is one of them. USB, Citizens First. We have quite a number of different local sponsors that really, with all of our annual events throughout the year, we can't do those things without.
Oh no, I understand how important sponsorships is, because we wouldn't have a radio show if it wasn't for sponsors.
Right.
Yeah.
But I would love to talk to you about that. I would
Mhm.
love to be able to find out what are the sponsorship opportunities, because I talk with businesses all day, every day.
Okay. Yeah.
And the more information I have as far as opportunities for things they can get involved with,
Mhm.
the more of an asset that I am to them. And
Well,
that's really what I
yeah.
want to be. Is I want to be an asset to businesses, so to
Right.
help them grow.
So how do
Oh,
you
yeah.
see these sponsors through your events? Do you have their
Well, so for like Fish Fry next
Mhm.
week, the sponsorship, the way that they come in is we provide, it's a turnkey. So we have people cook all the food, but the sponsors come in and So UF Health is one of them, and we'll have the CEO of UF Health sit there, and she's serving cheese grits and collard greens.
Oh,
you
wow.
know? But so we have different ones. Lasseterware will be serving our corn. I mean, so you have our sponsors. They just come in, but it's a great one-on-one. You're talking to your actual customer
Yeah.
base as you're
Right.
serving them their food.
Oh, nice.
And as far as like the sponsorship, a lot of it is PR for the company, so they get included in a lot of their print. You know what I mean? So when people when they're advertising those events, they get included. So it's inclusion in this and that, and again, lots of times these bigger companies want to partner with an event like this because it's families, it's a partnership, and
Right.
so it's very advantageous for them to
Right.
get involved with them. But sometimes, like I said, a lot of them have those relationships like grandfathered in.
Mhm.
So
Right.
some companies have a hard time finding like good ones to get in that are strong like that. So, but yeah, I think that sponsorships like that are very, very, very good for the businesses that
Well,
do them.
And we're lucky in that we have so many different events that we can provide some sort of opportunity, sponsorship opportunity for just about any company, because those that don't want to be, like Fish Fry is a good example. It is a great friendly event. We kind of have put it like it's the kickoff to spring, even though that was a couple weeks ago. It's always the first Thursday of April. But it's just there's some feeling about it that just kind of makes you go, it's springtime now, you know? But families are invited, little kids are running around. And so it's just a great, nice event where that's good for some certain sponsors. So we have all kinds of different things that would be great for a sponsor. And we have all kinds of different packages, price wise. And then, Bike Fest is a little bit different. We do have some larger packages for something like that because it is much more costly, especially when it comes to
Well,
headliners.
they get a lot more for it,
Right,
too,
right,
so.
exactly, because we do a lot of advertising outside of the county more so than right in Leesburg. So it is very it is very important to some of these people that they get that. Progressive really, they're huge in the biker rallies all over the country. So it's very important to them that they get, even in these small little towns, it's a big deal to them because that, is a great customer base for them. And we're kind of talking to them about some other opportunities because we are a lakefront community. So we'd like to, partner with them and maybe create some things that is, because they provide insurance for watercrafts and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And then I know we're getting ready to come to break, but people can also buy booths and
Okay,
be a
yeah.
vendor on site.
Right.
And sell.
That's what I was wondering, like if they have a stand or a tent or something like that.
Yeah.
We have all kinds of that. We have all kinds of people that are coming and just, like giving away their information or whatnot.
But
So,
you can sell merch too.
right. We have everything. And we have that at almost all of our events, like some sort of vendor. But Bike Fest, Melissa that's what she's doing right now, fitting them all in.
We're like, which
downtown.
Melissa?
Yeah, my Melissa. Right into downtown Leesburg. We'll have we have some pretty big vendors right now. So, but, so they cover like 9 to 10 blocks.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things where you can walk block to block to block, and then you just see everything from hot sauces to leather goods to I mean,
Okay.
you name
Everything.
Like a market.
it.
Jewelry.
Jewelry.
everything.
Jewelry's
I
a
mean,
big one.
you know what's big right now is this IV hydration.
They really, I know it's big, but I didn't think about it for Bike
Especially
Fest.
on Saturday morning and Sunday morning.
It's because people are all hungover and whatnot. All right, so we're going to break, and when we get back, we are going to finish up our hour talking to Joni Smalley with Leesburg Partnership.
Sounds like fun. Stay tuned. It's BaaD Radio on News Radio WFLA Orlando.
What is that song?
It's an interesting one.
That's yes, roundabout.
Yeah.
You knew that one?
Yeah, some of us older folks do. Just kidding.
I ain't that young, I can tell you that
It's
much.
not really that. It's just you have a limited musical, apparently, taste.
You should see my.
You don't know who Yes is. I can't listen to you anymore. I'm sorry.
I didn't say I didn't know who Yes was. I didn't know what that was.
Oh, you probably know, like, that Yes. Like the one crap album that came out in the early 90s.
I was about to say, was it probably
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. That wasn't really yes.
We were talking the other day, Melissa in my office and I, because we went to school together. We would go to concerts like all the time because concert tickets were so inexpensive.
Right.
And it amazes me. But I'm like, I mean, it's crazy what we would go see. Everybody.
I used to go till, I mean, we used to be able to go see, I always saw 9 Inch Nails at Visage here in Orlando.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, that was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That was a huge venue.
Visage. It was
I mean,
hidden.
like, yeah. Uh-huh.
I loved it where it was. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah,
Long
no,
time
they had
ago.
some good ones. At, I saw, what did I say, Nitzareb, and I saw some great ones at Visage.
Well,
I was like 18.
When so we have a merchant downtown. They went to school in New York, but when we were in high school at Disney, they would have Valentine Heartbeat,
Mm-hmm.
and all of the like musical people would be there, and pretty big names, and I mean very big names
Yeah.
actually, and those tickets too were very inexpensive. I mean, it's crazy.
I think Tom, my husband, saw, I want to say it was Smashing Pumpkins or one of them at Barbarella downtown. Hi,
Probably,
Tommy.
but they would they came down from New York to go to this, or
Mhm.
not Valentine. They came to grad night, but the same thing.
Grad
I'm
night.
thinking,
I remember
wow.
grad night.
How? I mean,
I
thought it was
had-
just Florida people.
What was the Music Factory one?
Oh, CC.
CC Music Factory.
CC.
That's who I. Yeah, that's who I had for
Look,
my.
she's over there shaking her head.
I am so lost. I'm going to be honest.
She's in her 30s.
I
I'm
don't
like
know what's
going-
happening.
She's going. I don't know. Who
I have no
or
idea what we're talking
you're
about right
talking
now.
about. I'm like,
I don't want to seem disinterested. I just have nothing to
She's
contribute.
like, I'm checked out.
did you grow up around here?
No, my dad was in the Navy, so
Oh.
we moved all around.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's exciting though.
Ready when you are.
19. Oh, good.
Oh.
That was just hanging out. All right, stand by. Last segment. We got a little over 10 minutes. So when you start doing that thing, and, I won't cut you off this time.
Okay.
I'm going to start the music a little early like I have been, though.
Okay.
All right. Stand by, everybody. Here we go.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
And welcome back. Want to give a huge thank you to our sponsor, Bolts Legal. Fear no storm with boltslegal.com. 33 tanning spa with locations in Altamont Springs and Longwood. Andrews Law PA, auto accident attorney, andrewslawpa.com, and Crazy Muscle Nutrition in Longwood. Yeah, so speaking of sponsors, like I said, BaaD Radio wouldn't be possible if it weren't for the sponsors. And so I know how that works, and I so very much appreciate everything that they do and supporting the show and making the show happen. So, but yeah, we were talking about like being able to get a booth. Now, is the Bike Fest? So, what other events do you have that where people can actually get a booth? Like at the car shows? Do they do it at car shows?
We can make it happen for anything.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I
but
like
yeah,
that.
car shows. The 4th of July.
I want to hear more about the 4th of July. Is there music with that one too?
Well, we do get bands, and we're actually thinking about how to do it a little bit different this year, because so many people for 4th of July, they go to their own parties. Our ski beach is full. I live in the neighborhood that we do it, but our fireworks go off the basin right there on Lake Harris.
So it's over the
a
water,
ski
right?
beach, yeah.
Mhm.
But it's full. There are people everywhere, but it's kind of like they're having their own little picnic parties or whatever. So we do have a lot of people come. We have a lot of vendors, but not a lot of people were standing in front of the stage watching the music.
Right.
And so we're trying to decide how we can change that up a little bit. And it's kind of been we've always had some sort of music, but it never had like a lot of people standing there watching it. So
I've been to the one that was at Mount Dora, and they'll have like a stretch that you can walk down, and that's where we would set up vendors, and they would do well. But same thing, we had a stage, but everybody kind of like copped a squatted where they were, and they kind of did their own thing. But the food trucks would do really well.
Yeah, the food, the vendors. We have a kid zone.
Oh, they always do really good.
They
with
all
something
do
like
really
that.
well. We do a ski show. I mean, so all those things do really well, but it's just I think people are, they kind of have their own thing. I mean, I'm at 4th of July with my one person that comes and works that with me while my family's off having fun.
Yeah.
But,
I guess that's one of the downfalls to being on the partnership is that you never get to actually fully enjoy those events because you're always working.
But like for 4th of July, I think so many things are tradition. So that's
Mhm.
why, but we are trying to figure out how we want to do music because you have to have something.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
can't have dead air. So we're trying to figure out what we want to do, how we're going to do that a little bit different this year. And I'm always game for changing things up, because things tend to get static. So I always think change is a good thing.
You've mentioned waterfront a couple times. So where is that compared to like where your office is?
It is just 3 blocks to the south of us.
And it's a lake?
It's Lake Harris. We're in Lake County, and Leesburg is actually the lakefront community. So downtown is actually on both sides. We have Lake Griffin and Lake Harris.
Really?
We have a street that would connect them called Canal Street because
It's good canal.
forever and moons ago,
Mhm.
that would have been a canal.
Mm.
So
See, that's really interesting because when I think of Leesburg, I don't think of lakefront community. But you were talking about like economic growth and things like that. So that's some of the things that you guys are talking about
Right.
doing, right?
Yes, so Leesburg has really embraced sports tourism. So we just finished having college softball out at our Sleepy Hollow recreational
I love
complex.
that. Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, so and they've been coming now for quite a number of years, but since COVID, it became bigger because the northern schools came down here and did their entire season in one weekend.
Oh,
We had
wow.
Division One, so we do have Division One in February that comes down. So we have some pretty high-ranking softball teams that come and play out there. So, and it's during a full 6 weeks. So we'll have Division One, 2, and 3 that come out there. We also, the city has invested in our recreational facilities. So we have Susan Street that is in the design phase that will become a 4 to 5 recreational fields. So we'll be able to do soccer, lacrosse, rugby, all kinds of, square, rectangular.
But you're not just talking about for the local community. You're talking about bringing in like
people from-
tournaments
right.
and stuff. That's
So it's
awesome.
sports tourism. So
Mhm.
Leesburg's really trying to embrace that. We have our Pat Thomas, which is a historic baseball field.
As I say, I don't know what that is, but it's a baseball
It's
field.
right there on Lake Harris,
Mm-hmm.
and it's we have it's home to the Leesburg High School Yellow Jackets, but it's also home to the Leesburg Lightning, which is a wooden bat league that plays all summer long.
Well, I'll tell you what, my son plays travel ball, and those facilities that host those tournaments make bank
Mhm.
because each team pays out the nose to be there.
Well,
It's so expensive.
And when people are in your community, they've got to get gas.
Oh, yeah.
They pick up lunch. They got to go buy water. They have to do all these
Mhm.
things. So it's a huge impact on your community. And when they're over a weekend, they stay at your
Your
hotels.
hotels.
But the big deal is we have a lakefront. So we're investing in our lakefront. So we're working on a new marina that will be housed
And this
there.
is all under the partnership. Are you
Well,
are
no,
working
not
with
all.
Okay.
We work with the city on
Gotcha.
it.
Okay.
But we see the economic impact for our downtown and for our community. So we really are trying to embrace that and try to figure out not just events, but things that can help make those bigger, better, and try to get our community into supporting all of this information.
It sounds like you have so much going on. How big is your team?
Our
At
at the
partnership?
office.
Yeah.
Um,
Is it you and
So
Melissa?
it's me and Melissa is part time, and we have an accountant. But we do have
You
a
have
lot of
volunteers,
we have a
though.
lot of volunteers. We do have contract people that I couldn't. They're awesome.
Uh-huh.
We have a great team that helps put on some of our events. We have a very active board of directors, which really helps quite a bit. And they have been a great support
Mhm.
since I've come on as director, and that we really could not have done that without
Well, because
them.
I've worked with other Main Streets before, but I have never seen one to work at the level that you guys do. And I'm not. I mean, I'm not. It's not me like picking on them.
Right.
It's
No.
just that I see a lot of. Well, we want to do this, but we don't have the funding. We do this, but we didn't get the quite turn. You know what I mean? And so it's like I kind of. There's always a solution.
Right.
If you want to make something happen, then you just have to try to figure out how to make it happen. It sounds like
Right.
you've got that covered.
Well, and my predecessor, that was, I mean,
Joe,
he was
right?
Yeah, Joe. He was very good at doing that, and it started off small, and everything grew. So that's that it didn't start off this way. So it did take a lot of time to make it where it is now. But we've been in existence since 1994. Next year will be 30,
30
years.
years. Mhm.
And growing up there to see what a difference our downtown is now compared to 30 years ago. 30 years ago, it was looking a little desolate down there. And, so to see what has happened in that downtown since then is incredible. And I do believe it's not just the Leesburg partnership that did it, but it is the partnerships that we've had with our city, with our other civic groups.
Right. Well, I think it's awesome that you gave plugs to like Wayne Dench and then to Progressive. Do you want to give any shout outs to any of your other like Bike Fest sponsors while you got an opportunity?
Or Fish Fry.
Yeah, it really, our local sponsors really help us with our day to day. So, our United Southern Bank, Insight, Lasterware, ERA Grizzard, Morris Realty, there's a whole list of them. There is quite a number.
How can somebody find that list?
You can go to leesburgpartnership.com.
Okay.
And it has all of our events. It has links to the civic groups that we work with, every day. And that's what we're trying to live out our name. We are partners with everybody.
Right.
So we want to be able to embrace and help all, everybody that we can.
And
So.
if somebody wants to get involved with the Bike Fest, is it too late? Like
No.
if they want a booth or anything?
No, we still will take it. Go to leesburgbikefest.com.
Mhm.
That's where our vendor applications are. We have an RV park that we house. It's just a small little area that you can do. You have to be self-contained, which I have learned what that is. I have learned things that I didn't know. This morning, I had an electric meeting, and I was sitting there going, okay, what are those things called? Pigtails. I learned all kinds of things. But so we have that. There's some openings there. So we're, and we'll still take sponsors, and we'll do everything we can to promote them.
And I'll get your information. I'll post it on all of my social media platforms as well. All right. Well, that's music means that we're coming to the end of the show. I can't believe it. It goes by so fast. But Joni, thank you so much for taking the ride over here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, absolutely. And so what you got, Felicity? Give everybody.
Oh, yeah, sure. You can find me at strikingbrand.com or strikingbrand on all social media platforms.
And I am Angela with BaaD Radio, and that's BaaD radio.com for more information about the show. And have a great week.
All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to BaaD Radio.
Can I have your phone, Melissa? If I had one. Can I text you my number?
I can connect with you as well.
Oh, perfect.
You have my information.
The best one is your cell phone?